It's a far too common conversation that cuts to Mick Breen's core.
The more you start to talk to people about injuries, the more stories you hear about, oh yeah, I did my ACL, I did this, and it's just like, oh, I missed out on this awesome career just because of these stupid little injuries that can just ruin dreams. And it really did, and like I was never the same player again.
As a boy on the footy field, Mick had the world at his feet.
I was the rugby player. Loved every single team I played with, all my mates I played with, and it was just, I was the rugby guy and I got really good at it. And got into England under-18s, which was pretty cool for a couple of years.
Before moving to Australia with his family, where the path to professional rugby appeared set.
Was hoping to go even further professional with ACT Brumbies up in Canberra, that moved me up there. Good old injuries struck me down in my prime. Age of 22, had my first ACL injury. Completely knocked me for six, like didn't know what to do. Flew back home to have my parents look after me in a straight-legged brace for 6 weeks, put on 10 kilos. Life was ruined.
The first of 3 ACL injuries that ended a promising playing career before it had ever truly begun. A reality that took a brutal toll on Mick's body and mind.
Surgeon was like, yeah, no more. And I basically lost my identity.
Down, but not defeated, Mick wanted answers.
Started to learn more about the body, because what I was starting to learn was these injuries that I went through were 90% preventable. And I'm like, why weren't we told this? Why didn't we know this? Why weren't we told this growing up?
The personal trainer come myotherapist carving a new path with Melbourne soft tissue therapy.
Giving me enough knowledge to then make sure I could start helping other young athletes who come through who didn't have this happen to them, have their dreams squashed by a simple injury that could have just been prevented by a few simple habitual changes.
Starting at the feet, a foundation too often neglected.
My biggest argument I always come back to is, were you born with shoes on your feet? Like, no one was. The moment any kind of toddler starts walking, we're wrapped in these shoes. School shoes, they are the worst things possible. And then you go to footy boots as well, they're not exactly the best things to play in either. And you just piece it all together and think, like, barefoot's best. We evolved to be the most efficient runners on the planet before there were shoes around.
Teaching his clients how to return to running naturally.
So it's all just working out how we can use the body where it was designed. I don't like to label people with injuries, because I got labelled with crappy knees and it ruined me mentally. So that's why I keep it so simple. It's like, right, let's just put you back in the place you should be.
A place where potential isn't inhibited by injury.